Jolan Tru Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. We're past +1. I'm Admiral Tarek of the battleship RS Calum as we continue our campaign against the Hydran Star Kingdom. And last time, well, we have weakened the planet of 111 to a terrifying degree. It is down to 24 Empire defense, which means the Hydrans are on the ropes. So we're going to do a quick check of our supplies, make sure we're fully kitted out and ready to rock. We are, so let us set out into space and see if we can't annihilate absolutely everybody. We will begin today with a convoy raid, which is actually not something we're all that good at. Our old ship, the Romulan optimized Condor, was actually fairly good at these sorts of missions. Oh god. This just got bad. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's a Monarch class battleship carrier, right off the starboard bow, and it's gonna take us 3 turns to charge our plasma torpedoes. This is gonna go great. Let's get the phaser capacitor fully charged so we can duck into cloak by the time this thing actually shows up. He's already fired his light phasers at the Oris. I don't quite know why. It's not like the Oris is going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot of damage to him. I am more concerned about trying to take on his Gatling phasers, his massive numbers of fighters, and everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fighters away right now. You're going to get in amongst the heart of the convoy, and you're going to engage it. In the meantime, I will, well, duel with the Monarch class battleship carrier, which there's a whole bunch of fighters coming our way. Lots of power is now at my disposal. So let's go in and kick on the forward ship. Yeah, there goes one ship just gone. Hey, don't you shoot my guys. Okay, my little guys are attempting to support me as best as they can. And our point defense systems have engaged. I'm going to duck in a cloak. We're not going to fight. We will fight after their initial pass so that I can hit them with the biggest bricks that money can possibly buy. Or rather, you know, phasers and barrages of other things. I'm really tempted to shoot at you. Oh wow, they almost took it out. Wait for them to pass. I was kind of hoping that they would. Get outside of range, get outside of range. Decloak. Surprise! I am here. Oh, they fired before I was out of cloak. And no longer vulnerable. So that's one group down. About to take out another group. Oh, he's down to one. That's dead. And there's just 2 more vessels remaining. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any phasers just yet. Will I have enough phaser fire to wipe this out entirely? Overload the phasers. And fire! Got him. Okay, so only 1 fighter group actually managed to get home. And now it's time to kick on the speed, activate the tractor beam. Let's come over here. We're going to go for a standard style engagement. Unfortunately, we're not quite ready to go with that. The phaser capacitor takes a tremendous amount of power. Although it looks like all our plasma torpedoes are ready to go. The Monarch battleship carrier has begun to turn to start to face us. So we're ready with plasma torpedo bombardment. We don't have as much shielding as I'd like, but that is about to change as the phaser capacitor finishes its full charge. All right, buddy. I'm going to actually escort this in. So my plan is as follows. You must respond to this. And he did. Target it. It's dead. Stand by. Wait for the attack ship to go away. 3, 2, 1. And it's gone. Goodbye. Duck in the cloak. He can still deal a ton of damage to me. Oh, just the tremendous amounts of damage that has just been dealt to him. He has lost almost all of his shields, 76 damage to the hull itself, but the key thing here is he's got no more defense. At least not for much longer anyway. If I can pull a little bit further away from him to start to utilize, how much damage? Not as much. If I pull away from him and start to utilize my other systems, I can probably get a ton more dealt to him. How are your charging systems? Oh wow, your entire port side has just been shattered. Well, not entirely. He's lost quite a few systems, unless that was a suicide overload burn. If it was, then that was really, really dumb of you. I'm going to decloak. I think I've got the opportunity now. So fire the aft plasma torpedo. And all phasers. So 106 damage has been dealt to him, and his fighters have dropped out of close. Now, I am not going to engage those fighters just yet. I'm going to wait until my phasers are recycled so I can start coming in with real firepower. The 106 damage has got to be weighing quite heavily on him, although I would like to increase my speed to start going after these fighters, especially if they start heading on towards my friend's phasers. Not yet ready to go, although shortly. A little bit longer, and now we're starting to get normal charging going on here. So my pseudo frigates still zipping around, causing havoc and damage, which is beautiful to see. Oh, they're fairly good at their job. If I had 4, they would just rip this convoy apart. I'm going to have to haul them home at some point, and likely soon, just to make sure that the enemy does not take too much advantage over what I'm about to do. That's your fire. Should have made better use of it. So we will now utilize our aft-firing phasers to break him. Okay, that's broken. Target me. Yeah, that. Did they get through? They did. They absolutely got through. Back under the cloak. So they cut through my armor, which is obviously not great, and they've managed to damage 2 of my Phaser X mounts, and our phasers are going to charge soon, but I do want to get this broken, damaged side away from the enemy. After all, we have an exposed shield, which is obviously not good. We're going to take fullest advantage of our damage reduction, although I also intend to make full use of our pseudo-plasma torpedoes at this point. Let's wait for him to fire all those, which he has. Okay, prepare to engage. And fix that. All plasma select. Get the pseudos out. You're going to have to respond to that. If you don't, then I'm going to take just massive amounts of firepower into you. Yeah, you're dead. I don't think you've realized just how dead you are. So he's deployed the Wild Weasel. I do not have a proper target yet. I am going to let this run out for a little while longer because most of my plasma torpedoes aren't actually ready. But they will be very, very shortly. So we're going to let him get up to a speed of about 3, then we're going to duck back underneath cloak, and that should be all safe and sound for us. We just need to wait for him to accelerate fast enough, although he is accelerating quite slowly. So I don't want to get too close to him. If we get too close to him, then problems will arise, but 2.4, 2.5, come on, get up higher. Get to a higher speed. Wait for it. We've destroyed one of the hydrogen freighters. That's great. Fire the plasma and drop into cloak. So these should hook back in over towards him. All for you, my friend. Yes, that does reduce their amount of power because they had to travel a longer effective distance, but that was crippling. At least I hope it was. We're going to drop back out of cloak once again because I think I have a major advantage on him. I'm going to lay into him, and that's shattering. He is gone. Show me my fighter status at this point. Both of them are still active. All right, then let's get the speed going on. I don't have too much at the moment, but that's because I'm currently charging my entire phaser bombardment capabilities. So once that's done, we can start really kicking it on because we're actually fairly quick. Once we get everything rolling, we can just soar, which is a lot of fun. So we're just going to sort of knife our way through the entire group. I should probably order you guys new orders. Go after this one. This is the one I care about. I don't care about the one that you're attacking, because the one you're attacking is in the background, and it is clearly not important. Hi, I'm going to come up behind you with a whole bunch of phasers, and you're going to die. That's just how this works. Although this is a fairly huge convoy once you start to look at it. And I hear plasma torpedoes. Oh no, that's friendly plasma torpedoes. And pretty decent nailing on him. Let him fire that, and he's dead. Come over into you. Prepare the tractor beam, because we do need to leap up to the front of the formation as soon as we can. Tractor beam is prepared and ready to go. Slow down the speed of time just so we can sort of track things. That's a plasma R to the face. Let's see if you can survive it. If you can, I'll be pretty surprised, but if you do, then I also have a little bit of phaser firepower to just sort of push you over the edge. You're dead. You've been damaged a little bit. You are being currently hounded by one of my ships, so I'll prepare a tractor beam for you. I'm going to assume he might be able to kill the APX, or at least I have hope that he'll be able to kill the APX. So 3 of the freighters have been destroyed. We're about to come in with another group of plasma torpedoes. He's being held. Fire all of the F. Wasn't needed. You. Send a probe, actually. Let's find out exactly what he's got for defense. He's got nothing. Fire the R over there. That ought to be able to take him out. And now over to the APX. My forward shield is a little bit dented at this point, so I kind of don't want to just ram my way through a mine at this point. I know, crazy things in a King Condor, but still, I'm a little bit concerned about taking too much damage. Yes, we did take 1 penetrating hit so far, but you don't, by good nature, want to take too many more than that. Alright, we've dealt with that, and he has no more shuttle bay, so maximum speed. And they took it out. Good job, little guys. Right before the edge of the map, too. So an especially good job by our pseudo-frigates. Had it not been for them, we may not have been able to win this entire mission, although that's a little bit debatable. We did a fairly decent job, all things considered. 370 prestige is a reward for a job well done, and the tile is neutral. They're vulnerable. We can capture the Hydran homeworld if we're quick enough. We just need to do a quick supply run, 19 damage plus 19 damage, and we're good. Give me the spare parts. I used up. Fighters, perfect condition. Shuttles are ready to go. Let's see if we can't conquer the Hydran homeworld. It's going to be a shipyard assault instead of a planetary assault. I'm slightly disappointed by that. I was kind of hoping for a homeworld assault just in order to end things poetically, but you know what? They're holding off at the very last bastions that they call home, and there's a single dreadnought off in the distance. That is a MNRX, a Monarch class? Yes, an Monarch class dreadnought. So this is their normal dreadnought version, which is much weaker than their Monarch class battleship carrier. He still has 12 fighters, but that's not as bad as 20. So we're going to increase the forward shield reinforcement to maximum, make sure the plasma torpedoes are set to enveloping mode, phasers to overload. We're being escorted today by the XV Vengeance, which is a drone cruiser. All things quite nice, actually. We are going to get our probe system all fully loaded, which is about to be right now. See if he's really alone. I would be really surprised if he was. Although, this would not be the first time that I'm surprised by this game. Wow, he's all alone. A single final last stand, and they're ISC Stardocks, which means plasma torpedoes. Oh, that's kind of sad, actually. The single last defender of all of their hopes and dreams must stare down a King Condor of all vessels. That's got to be just a terrifying sight to look at. It's like, yep, we're a King Condor, and we probably can rip you to shreds if we fight in the right situations. That is actually a pretty major stipulation. The Hydrans are pretty good as long as they can operate in between our 3-turn bursts. If we can keep them at bay for the 3 turns that it requires for our plasma torpedoes to operate, then we can obviously just annihilate the enemy. But if he can avoid that first salvo, which they all try, and inevitably they all fail, but if he can possibly avoid that first salvo, then what he can turn around and do is just start mauling us, and we have no way to really counter back with that. Now, of course, the AI, not the most brilliant out there, so we can kind of take advantage of quite a few things, so I'm not feeling super terrified just yet. And the DWD is always nice to have as backup. So just a little bit of extra cannon fodder. Looks like the ISC Stardocks already starting to open fire. That's good enough range for me. Fire the pseudoplasma torpedo and begin your break-off maneuver. Please don't turn into me. I mean, you're going to, but I kind of hope that you don't. Oh, look at how much damage you can do even from this range. All right, is this going to be your crashed up? There's this crashed up. So we're starting our long-range push, swinging around multiple shield facings. They all wasted their fire on that plasma torpedo, which is lovely, because that means they can now be extra dangerous and effective. Also, it means he's not going to waste his initial salvo, although there's no quite guarantees on that. Start to slow down. Prepare the phaser counterfire. So once he starts getting within range, we will conduct our engagement. You're dead. You're dead. Target me, the big one. Oh, you're no longer protected at all. Engage with plasma torpedoes, aft-firing phasers. And into cloak go we. Actually, no, not yet. Pull out a cloak. So that's going to be quite a bit of lovely fun for him. Oh, just nailing him. Is my shield still up? It is still barely. I just want to get this last plasma F out of the bay. And you know what? Nuclear space mine. So going to add in everything we've got to the table. We've managed to hurt him quite badly. 102 damage on through. The nuclear space mine is going to be set up behind us. I have quite a few phasers, but they only shoot forward at the moment. So we will eventually work around to get to him. His aft-firing Hellbores managing to nail our little friend over here with the Vengeance. I would like to get in here with the full phaser barrage. I think I can do quite a bit of damage. Look how many of his systems are down. Most of his fusion cannons are completely offline. He's lost at least 2, if not 3 of his Hellbores at this point. He's attempting to repair a few of them. He still has defensive tractors in order to protect himself from the barrage from the DWD, but we're about to come into an aggressive assault firing position as we slip in right behind him. Oh, we have him on the defensive. That is not a place that we normally place Hydran vessels after we've fired all of our plasma. We are guarding our entire right flank with this nuclear space mine. And there we go, laying into him more as we start to strafe on by. We'll break off to continue to stay in his blind spot as best as we can. He started losing his defensive tractors. In fact, his tractor beam system is completely offline. Oh, that is not a place he wants to be. He's trying to bring us around to the front where he can potentially get his Hellbores on target if they're still charged. I can't imagine that they are, though, although we don't have any precise data just yet. We will find out shortly, but we do have most of his systems offline at this point. Really, I think we've got him dead, even though he still has 2 Hellbores that are aiming right for us, which he managed to nail the one, nailed the second, and penetrated our shields just before he died. Well, that was a good showing by him. I have to give him credit for it. He tried to the very last. It's just a shame that it wasn't enough. Well, not from our perspective. We're just gonna cruise on in here then. So we have no concerns of the enemy at this point. I'll go maximum electronic countermeasure at this point, so that I can just keep the enemy from being able to handle anything. I suppose the more aggressive thing would be to stay the ECEM up to maximum, but that might promote him to not counter properly. So I don't want to bother with that. We're just going to make sure that we are fully prepared to keep him from doing anything that he actually wants to do. Single R-type plasma torpedo still needs to charge, but that's not going to be a major concern. I think I have enough firepower just to crush these Stardocks in one salvo, so this should be quite sweet. Start to cruise on into range, slow down the speed of time, so we can actually time this properly. I want to fire, honestly, an R-type plasma torpedo. Make sure my self-defense phasers are off. They are. Slow down a little bit more to make sure also we're traveling at a speed where our forward shield is beyond 20, so we can basically just bounce that damage completely off. His plasma F torpedo insufficient to cut through our reinforcement alone. And that is a pretty terrifying position to find yourself in when you can't move. Alright, fire the R-type pseudo-torpedo. And start to stop. Target the shuttle. Engage. The shuttle is dead. Alright, coming to a stop. Wait for it to disappear. 3, 2, 1. Go away. Go away, little shuttle. There we go. And start to kick back on the speed, because we've dealt with the first of the Stardocks. It looks like we didn't even need the plasma F torpedoes, which is always a lovely sign. We'll increase the speed of time again. We still have a ton of power in the ship, thanks to not having to charge our phasers once we do that little tiny burst of power just to destroy the Wild Weasel. And we'll come around to the next IFRD, slow down a little bit just to make sure we have enough power in the forward shield to bounce. We had way more than what was required. We had enough power in that forward shield to bounce his shot at... Ooh, our plasma torpedo's not actually charged. We've come into position and we're not yet ready. But yeah, we had enough power in that forward shield to bounce his shot at point blank range, much less a range of like 15. Alright, cruise to a stop, I suppose. I mean, there's no point in like really getting overly excited about it. We have to wait until our plasma torpedoes are ready to go before we can actually break it. We could try and just firepower our way through with our phasers, but we tend to be a little bit more sophisticated. Good. Taking out his entire defenses at this point, so we just gotta wait. 3, 2, 1, and you know what? Just fire the plasma torpedoes. I'm hoping that worked. Oh, good. They snaked right in this. I was wondering if I was traveling at the right speed of time. I actually kind of was, but kind of wasn't at the same time. But we've taken out the second starbase, coming out to the third. Probably could have captured him, especially since the IKV Vengeance has been so, well, completely pointless in this battle. But we're not going to get too worked up over that. After all, we don't need a huge amount of cash. We're into King Condor already. We're feeling pretty powerful, pretty safe at the moment. Don't really need to sort of throw our back out to try and get ourselves a ton of cash. Also, you spend quite a bit of cash when you start deploying Marines everywhere, because we deploy like 9 or 10 of them at one shot, which is rather considerable. So we're just going to pull into a position again to finish off the last target. Oh, he can actually shoot down all of these, like, with basically no trouble. I'm actually wondering if he will attempt to Wild Weasel them, because if he does, then I can follow up. Yeah, no. Okay, that's another salvo, and I'm going to fire a pseudo torpedo to see if I can encourage that, because what that will allow me to do is he's destroyed the Wild Weasel for me. And now we can kill him. There we go. So the last of them has been defeated. Victory is, of course, ours. And that will be the Hydran homeworld captured. So we've penetrated all defenses, and we may now plant the flag of Romulus atop whatever mountain the Hydrans possibly have. Camelot is now ours. So Empire Defensive 50 has bounced up to immediately. We hold control. Pop down over here, see what's going on. There's a patrol we can grab real quick. So let's see if we can't nab it super fast here. That way we can know that we're fully in control. There's another Hydran planet here. I don't know if it's one of the lost colonies or not, but we will find out in relatively short order. Get the forward shields going after we, you know, conquer it, and then ask the new slaves to the Romulan Star Empire. Because let's remember, we're not exactly the bestest of guys. Rome, after all, was not built on pure liberty and democracy. I mean, there were certain elements of that, but still. And a single light cruiser. How sad for you. Oh, wait, no, he's got a friend. He's got a heavy cruiser. Oh, never mind. You have firepower on your side. Let's see if you can actually utilize it to survive. So a single heavy cruiser, according to the fleet screen, we are dealing with a CHA. Not quite sure which version that is, but that's not a big deal because I think I can just bully my way on through it. I feel fairly confident that I have enough firepower just to annihilate you in basically one salvo, and that you have essentially no chance of actually defending yourself. I waited until I got a little bit closer in order to do the little juke maneuver, just in case he decided he was going to travel quite far away from me. That did not end up happening, of course, but that's just fine. He can't possibly cut through my forward shield as easily as, say, one of their massive Monarch-class battleship carriers. Point defenses should be able to engage, although they are going to be on their weakest side. Aiming from the side, it's only going to do 2 of these D-type plasma torpedoes to engage, rather than, you know, all 4 of them, which would be more ideal. Start to slow down, and phasers. And, yeah, phasers taking care of most of that. And hi, you're traveling at a speed of 2.4, 2.7, almost up to speed. I'm gonna have you. And now, you're dead. You are just completely dead. I don't believe that you will survive this shot. Oh, I am completely wrong. You survived. Good job. Here's a prize. I'm not sure how long you'll have to enjoy it, but make the best of it. After all, you never know when suddenly your fusion core will explode. Or in this case, the warp core. We're taking a couple of blasts from his Gatling phasers on the bow, but that's okay. I'm going to cruise on through his mind, maybe being a little bit sloppy about this, but I'm not feeling super bad about it, if I'm completely honest. Plasma torpedoes out the side. He did not understand what he was getting involved with, and so has basically wasted his defense. Which, you know, that's gonna kind of suck for him when our final remaining plasma torpedo actually goes out and annihilates him. So we're going to just build a little bit of distance. In fact, I'm going to start a full turnaround maneuver so I can bring in the stronger port side. The starboard side has taken a little bit more of a pounding. Not significant by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit. I'll also switch over the shields to the port side to reinforce a little bit more. And he's fired both of his hellbores. That's the best he's got at this point. And he's out of speed. Fire that S-type plasma torpedo out the back. You don't have any defense for it, friend. You should have saved it for the real shot. Although I suppose he couldn't have risked it. But actually, if he had a super intelligent captain, or at least a reasonably intelligent captain, he would have realized that we had fired every single plasma torpedo at his buddy and had almost killed it. Oh, this is a really good shot right here. Just laying into him with our phasers. Whip around to get the aft ones in target as well. Just start mauling him. After all, at the end of the day, he's a light cruiser. And he's not that good. Let's be honest here. Ooh. Wow, he cut through the aft shield. I am impressed. Good job, friend. Port side? Do I have any plasma torpedoes? I don't think I do. So he managed to cut through the aft shields, which is quite impressive, all things considered. I am going to give him every single plasma torpedo I currently have in my actual loaded arsenal, just to see if that will promote him to attempt to avoid incoming plasma torpedoes. I should have one more. There it is. So you've got an R, an S, and an F-type plasma torpedo heading your way. What do? Apparently nothing. Which tells me he has nothing. Fire all plasma torpedoes. He managed to get hit our stern with that hellbore cannon, but we've taken him. So a finals barrage bringing us through to a final victory as our warbird sails on to black space. So, another quiet victory. Although that was actually fairly impressive out of him. He did manage to take out my rear shields. We were playing a bit sloppy, but still. Tile neutralized, so not bad. We have the Hydran homeworld. We've started a major crushing assault into the center of Hydran territory. We may actually want to go along the edge just to sort of block the Klingons from being able to do anything in Hydran space. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. Before I receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, join us on Twitch on our stream on Saturday at 5 o'clock, and I will see you all in the next episode.